Hi, I'm Tara Lynn of Geek Saga Entertainment, and welcome back after a very long time to Hot D Takes. This podcast series covers HBO's House of the Dragon with myself, an avid reader of all things ASWAF, and my co host Manny, a Game of Thrones fan who is unsullied, aka has never read the books, being your stalwart hosts. So, first things first, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at A Geek Saga.
And I'm Manny, the aforementioned unsullied co-host, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Manissimo Art. Thanks for joining us for our 13th Hot D Takes installment, featuring our reactions to and thoughts about the black and green trailers that were just released for Season 2 of House of the Dragon.
So, if you're someone who doesn't watch trailers because you want to go into a series or movie completely blind, this episode is not for you. However, if you're into trailers but not into ASWAF book spoilers, we've got your back, as we'll avoid spoiling fire and blood plot lines, character deaths, and most other things. We'll start with our hot reactions, aka our first reactions, and then dig into some of the details we noticed in these two trailers.
We also have a rating system that we will, like true Targaryens, fill in when and where we please, and that system includes rating things on a scale of 1 to 10 Targ eyebrows.
Last but hopefully not least, we hope that you'll check out the Geek Saga Entertainment Patreon. It's a great way to support us and receive some fun perks in return, including early access to our Hot D Takes podcast episodes. Check it out at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment. Okay, let's dig in to our hot reactions. And we have a list here, but Manny, like if you think of anything as we're going through these, definitely chime in, with any additional input you might have. We're going to start with the black trailer. It kicks off with Rhaenyra, who do be pressing her claim like the queen she is.
I just love her so much. That's all I'm going to say. I saw that trailer and I just seeing her face, I'm like, oh, queen, my queen, thank you. Bring it home for us.
At the end of season 1, when she turns around at the end of the episode and she just has that look of stone on her face. Obviously, these are just trailers, but remembering that and then seeing her like first appearance in this trailer, it's just, yes,
man,
our queen. She's back.
So exciting, man. What about Damon immediately giving that snarky, yeah, that's my woman, y'all. you're gonna bow down or burn, like smirk on his face.
He is Damon being Damon. I am curious how many times we're gonna get his crimes cloak, if any, this coming season. But yes. I don't know that he's really gonna need it. He might. There's one situation where I think he might, but for now, he is just out there. That's my girl. She's the queen.
Oh, and they brought him back with his armor and everything. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I love it so much.
We also see Jace, the one Targaryen who's still alive in the north, being like all ambassadory and shit. I'm super excited for this plot line. I'm excited to go back to the north. Obviously, like I kind of assumed it was going to happen at some point, even before season 1. And then it was stated in season 1 that he was being sent up there. But seeing that first look was just...
That's awesome.
I love the new locations as much, if not more, but there's just something about going back to Winterfell.
I know, man. Oh, Corlys is all better crush those assholes while you have the chance. To Rhaenyra.
Yeah, him and Rhaenys both seem to have some ideas here. You already kind of said this. Very soon after the little clip with Corlys, there's again Damon being Damon, just all thou or burn. He's such a bro, but like somehow the good kind of bro, even though you also know he's a total asshole.
Man, it's like if I was in that universe, it's like, bro, don't even go no further. I'm gonna bend it. Don't worry about it, dude. I already sworn my fealty, man. Like, forget about it. No burning necessary, baby. Oh, and then here comes Rhaenys trying to be the voice of reason. If all you think about is killing and burning, you're going to forget why we started this war in the first place. I love that was in there. Because even me, I'm getting so pumped and so hyped of like, oh man, burn these fucking people, And then she has to come in and be all fucking wisdomy and shit. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, then you
know?
got to think about that it's not just the wannabe kings and queens and their entourages that are
Mhm.
burning. It's more so the small folk
The
most of
small
the
folk.
time. And or like the lords and ladies who have to swear fealty to them whether they want to or not. In this situation, people make a choice, but they often don't necessarily have a choice. You know what I mean? It's no different than it was in Game of Thrones in that respect. So
Yep.
we do also get Bela on Moondancer looking mighty badass. I think they showed a much shorter bit of that clip in one of the teasers. And I remember thinking, like, who is that? Because it didn't look like one of the Valerians at all. Like maybe I couldn't see their hair or whatever. But then I saw it again in this trailer, and I'm 99% sure it was just a slightly longer clip of what they'd previously shown. And I was like, oh, it's Bela. That's got to be Moondancer. I'm pretty psyched. We'll get into that a little bit more later.
So it ends with Rhaenyra saying she fears what she has begun. I wonder how long into the season it will take her to get to that point.
Same. Also, to be quite honest, I'm not sure how I feel about them including this line in the trailer. I almost feel like them including it. It was like partially a nod to book fans. I won't get into why, obviously, but I also feel like it was partially well, let's be real. At least in my circles, the vast majority of people I know, no matter whether they've read the books or not, I'm making a very big point of saying that right now, no matter whether they read the books or not, the vast majority of the people in my circles who are either ASWAF and show fans or just show fans are Team Black right now. So I feel like they put that in there to show, well, it's not just Rainey's kind of saying like, guys, better be careful. Don't want to have this go too far. It's also Rhaenyra being like, ooh, no, maybe I made it go too far. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It feels heavy-handed or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I feel it's going to be like one of those things. Like when I was watching Game of Thrones way back in the day, I was definitely on like Daenerys' side for a long time, aside from like Jon Snow, because Jon Snow was kind of like my character, like that's like the character that I probably would have been more like. So it was the one I kind of related to the most. But the person who I kind of wanted to rule was Daenerys, so it was like, okay, great. Yeah, I'm ready for her to kick ass. And then when she started kicking ass, I was like, no, no. I'm like, that's too much. You need to slow your roll. She just burned people and burned. Like, I just wanted you
I
to
was gonna
like
say
go in
I
there
wouldn't
and
even call it kicking ass. I would call it burning ass. But then like
burning.
that sounds terrible.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh my God, like,
Phrasing.
yeah, exactly. Like I didn't, I wanted the war to be medium rare. I didn't really want it well done like this. And so I just kind of wonder if it's going to kind of turn out to be that kind of situation where at least for me anyway, like watching it, I'm going to be like, yeah, Queen Rhaenyra, like awesome. I love her and it's great. But then is she going to hit a point to where I'm like, God damn, okay, maybe somebody want to just stab her in the back real quick just before this gets even worse.
Well, that's our hot reactions for the Black trailer.
I do want to interject this. I think it is fantastic that they made two trailers from two different kind of point of views like this.
Yeah.
That is just, again, this just goes to the testament of why, like, at least for me personally, it's my own opinion, that I just feel like House of the Dragon is by far such a more superior show than the original Game of Thrones.
Yep.
It's because they really put it into your hands to kind of complete it, to where it's like, hey, what do you think? They're not spelling it out for you. They're not holding your hand through this process. It's just boom. It just makes me feel like it's like they know that the people watching this are not fucking idiots. Here it is. And I don't know. So when they had like the two trailers, I was like, of course they did this. Like, of course they did. Like, why did I expect anything else?
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, I was like, whoa, two trailers that you can pit against each other, just like we're pitting the houses, the teams against each other. But also, again, yeah, I shouldn't have been surprised at all. Wanted to like catch all the things. But that said, the green trailer. Ooh, okay, so first of all, Alicent claiming that on his deathbed, Viserys knew the realm wouldn't accept a queen and wanted Babygon to succeed him. Girl, you just are doubling down on what you misheard in this little game of telephone or Raven Note, whatever you'd call it. There's no telephones here, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Just doubling down on what you misheard in this little game.
And the thing is that I feel that that takes away her case even more now, right? Because at first it was like, okay, he was in a weird fever state and just kind of saying shit and then totally fucking misinterpreted. But now she's like, oh, well, they're not going to accept, Rhaenyra as like a queen and all this kind of stuff. It's like, girl, now you're adding stuff. Now you're adding stuff now.
Yeah.
Now we have a problem. See, because before I could have been like, hey, you know what? I got kids, I know. They make simple mistakes where it's like, okay, I understand how that happened, but you're wrong. But then when they start adding stuff to the story, it's like, nah. Now you're grounded. Now you're actually grounded.
It's like when you have online drama. She misinterpreted her receipts, her screenshots of somebody's Facebook posts or whatever, tweets. She misinterpreted her receipts. Okay, like, listen, fine. You're probably still an asshole, but I get it. People make mistakes. You heard what you wanted to hear. But then, like you said, now you're just adding shit. Now you're just making shit up.
You're making shit up now.
This ain't going to hold up in court. The court of online or the court of Westeros.
Exactly.
But sadly, it kind of is at this point, at least on their side. But yeah.
Okay. Good old Otto spreading his wormy little lies. They don't care about what's good for the realm, only vengeance. We'll get our peace through violence, guys. Come on, dude. Otto, just being good old Otto. All right, dude. Again, 20 seconds into that trailer, and I'm just like, you guys not doing yourselves any favor. See, because at least in the original Game of Thrones, I could understand different aspects. I'm like, okay, well, I understand what they're trying to do. I don't agree with it, but I get it. These people, I get it. But Otto's not making any cases. We're like, yeah, I'd have been like, nah. Your head is going to be the next one to smash into the little ball on the table.
They're a bunch of haters. They don't really care about anybody. They only want their vengeance. But we'll make sure there's peace. Don't worry. But we'll do it through war.
Through war. Yeah. It's like, really? That's a great way to lead. That's awesome.
Okay, Tolstoy. Then we get this little glimpse of Baby Gon holding a helmet and the crown. His crown is soldered onto this helmet. Flex much?
But I guess, if you're in battle and you take the head of a king, it'd be great if his crown was on it too. Right. I mean, so to me, I'm like, hey, you're kind of doing me a favor. That's cool. I don't want to have to raid the castle and then like get the crown afterwards to show it to my people. I just get the whole sandwich right there. Just boom.
I just feel like, are they going to really be sending the king into battle all that much, if at all? So flex much there?
Yeah, that is like a Westeros photo opportunity is what it is. It's like, yeah, let's just put the crown on real quick and I'm going to get on the horse and you just take a quick picture of me and then I'm going to go tuck tail back into the castle.
Get on the dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just get on the dragon and just take a picture. I mean, he's trying to hold on as the dragon is like freaking out.
Taking a selfie.
Exactly.
Well, I guess I can do that. He's trying to control the dragon while this court sketch artist is just like, oh my god, keep a dragon still, dude.
Yeah. He's like, I want you to hashtag it boy boss and hashtag it living my best life.
Hashtag it I'm not Baby Gon.
Yeah. Hashtag not Baby Gon. I'm an adult. Aemon loving the idea of fighting Daemon and being so vain as to think Daemon would be scared to face him.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy literally like one shot at the crab feeder and you think like your little cycloptic power is going to like help, like he's going to be afraid of you,
Hello, fellow Targaryens.
Exactly.
My uncle is totally scared of me.
He's totally scared of me. Look at me. I'm tall and old, just like everybody else,
Instead of hello, fellow young Targaryens, it's hello, fellow old Targaryens. Yeah, I am totally one of you.
I am one of you. I can stand with the best of you, and Daemon's like fucking falling asleep on the couch. Like, what are you doing, kid? Like, just get fucking back in your room, like, Aemon, man, it was great to see him again, dude. I was like, you know what? This is going to be cool. I'm really interested to see where that arc is going to go with him because he thinks he's the fucking shit. And you know what? I think he's halfway there, honestly, with the way he talks and the way he is. I'm like, okay, you're halfway there. Going toe to toe with Daemon, though. Bro, didn't Daemon like take off 3/4 of someone's face for like back talking? Like, come on, dude. What do you think you're gonna do?
Daemon is actually a proven warrior in battle. Okay. And not just, oh yeah, he's like won some battles as the commander. Dude struggled through the sand of the steps, whatever island it was in the Stepstones, to march into a cave and emerge victorious over the crab feeder. Just come on, guys.
Dragging half of his body out. After Daemon had taken all those arrows and he's just walking out with this corpse. It's like, come on, dude.
Sure, Aemon.
Yeah, it's like, sure, dude.
He's totally scared of you.
That is a classic example of when you're an older teenager, you take martial arts and you feel like you're a badass. You're like, I can take anyone, and you just kind of forget the concept of like experience. It's like, no, bro, Damon is gonna split you in twain, and like we're all here for it,
Wait, I love it. Oh, on a more serious note, there does appear to be a funeral happening. We see like some common folk crying and throwing things. And at first I was like, wait a minute, the things that they were throwing didn't look, it almost looked wedding-y, but then I realized they were crying. And this is cut with a clip of Allison wearing a black veil. So gonna be a funeral on the green side too, it seems.
I wonder who it is.
Also, there is a lot of Sir Cole of House Slaw in this. I did not recognize him. They chopped his hair, and I did not recognize him until
Sir Cole House Slaw beheading somebody.
Which doesn't sound like a big deal, but we've got a little over a 2-minute long trailer. And of that 2 minutes, I think I looked at the time frame and it was like 2 minutes and 10 seconds long. And like, let's be real, the first like 10 to 15 seconds is the opening. And the last like 20 seconds or so is the closing. And when I say the opening and closing, it's, they're not showing new or different things. It's just an little opening, closing things. I would say that this is somebody that we know him to behead in the books. And I believe I'm not going to say who it is, but I believe they included this because it's going to be very important in the show. Otherwise, it's like, who the fuck cares? He's beheading somebody. Like, it's fucking war. People are probably getting beheaded left and right, and not just in battle. But this was, I think, was included because it was important. So. Oh, and of course, Laris Littlefooter is still skulking around.
Oh, God.
And again, just literally just skulking. Like, I almost missed that he was even in this trailer, just in the dark, skulking.
I saw it. I'm just like, bro, get it together, man. Come on, dude. That guy, man.
Last but not least.
Oh, Allison. Sweet, sweet Allison. Can she really believe that she could serve both her house and the realm?
Yeah, literally the rule we learned in Game of Thrones is that you should not do that or try to do that.
No.
And granted, now, I guess to be fair, that's future times, but also, come on, girl.
Maybe that's what that's what they're talking about in Game of Thrones. Oh no, you can't do that. Do you remember that girl hundreds of years ago? Remember that weirdo? She tried to do both and it just didn't.
And also be religious.
Like on top of it. Come on.
Before we get into some more detail type stuff or highlights, whatever, both of the trailers begin, for all intents and purposes, with the words "all must choose." So, Team Black or Team Green?
Black.
It's been very clear from the beginning that we are both Team Black.
I'm sorry. Was it my turn to talk? I'm sorry. Black.
Yeah. No matter what I know or have read or anything, it is just impossible for me to be Team Green right now.
It is now.
Maybe always will be. I don't know. I'll see how they handle things, but
yeah,
I'm Team Black. Rhaenyra, I'm even okay with her wrongs.
I mean, let's see. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved Daenerys. She was my queen. And then when she started burning children and shit, I was like, honey, let's. So I don't know. But you know what? Even with Allison, like the way I kind of left it off when we had finished season 1 was like, you know what? This is just an unfortunate misunderstanding is what it is. Just like the kid getting eaten by the dragon. It's like, okay, this is just a shitty situation that's just getting a little out of hand and needs to fucking stop. Because even Aegon, I wish in the trailers, I'm curious to see the outcome of that situation, because it seemed like everything was kind of just like, oh, anyways, on tomorrow's episode of like, wait, no, we're not gonna be anything in the trailer about like the dragon just ate your fucking kid.
I'll get into some of that in a minute for sure. Let's go into a little bit of this is news, as in like we have a couple things that we know from interviews and trailers. And when I say a couple, I'm not getting into a bunch of fucking interviews. I don't care about those things, honestly. But Easter eggs, little details, all that sort of stuff.
I think the good thing here that I really like is that season 2 is picking up right where season 1 left off, because I was worried at that ending that we were going to get a 2 years later kind of thing, and like they've been fighting for this amount of time, and or maybe shit settled down and it's still building. I'm really happy that it's just kind of jumping right from that last episode right into this one.
Also, it will not be jumping forward in time. I'm pretty sure not even once, let alone, what was it, 2 times in season 1?
It was like 2 times.
So it won't be jumping forward in time the way season 1 did, which I kind of figured, but it was nice to hear that confirmed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there might be some issues with like younger people they cast in season 1, even after the time jump, who have probably aged in between filming, whatever. Because again, it's been, by the time this will air, it's been almost 2 years. And I know they were filming before that, obviously. But yeah, so we're not going to get those jumps forward in time, which I recognized were probably necessary in season 1, but also were jarring here and there. These are the things we know. Now, next up,
the big question, right? Is Aemon going to show any regret over killing Luke? I personally think that he's going to be jarred by it at first, but that's probably why he's challenging Daemon, because he feels like a fucking badass, even though really what happened was an accident because his dragon just didn't listen to him. And now all of a sudden he's like, oh, again, I'm an accidental badass, you know, like, oh yeah, look at how cool I am. Yeah, because your dragon didn't listen to you. Like, if my car's steering went out and I ran over a bunch of people, I'm not like, look at me, I killed so many people. Like, no, bro, your car failed. Come on. I think personally it's going to be more of like he's going to be jarred by it, and then it's going to sink in, and he's going to start feeling like he's a badass, like he did something.
My thoughts are very similar. Listen, sure, we got surprised Pikachu face Aemon out of what happened in the season 1 finale, but will that big oopsies moment bloom in season 2, or will he just shrug off the fact that he's now a kinslayer, which all ASWA fans know is a big no-no, and even Game of Thrones fans too. Kinslayer was a thing in Game of Thrones too. But I've also seen people saying that Aemon looks like he's feeling a bit off about it in the trailer. Unless I missed something, and I watched the Black trailer like 4 or 5 times at least. It might have been more actually, because I was pausing and going back too. So like really, I watched clips of it more than 4 or 5 times probably. I did not notice that. I did not believe that Aemon looked sorry about anything at all. Nope. I'm like, okay, listen, that's not his character. Can we just admit that's not his character? Stop trying to make him poor surprise Pikachu. He was in that one moment and then it was gone because he's like, well, kill the dude. Maybe his mom's going to make him feel bad about it. Maybe she'll smack him around a little bit because we all know Allison's real great mother.
But yeah, you're right. I feel like he's not going to care. He was just surprised because he was like, oh shit, okay, maybe I didn't mean to kill him, but he's going to get back and be like, look at what a badass I am.
I mean, I certainly think that he was surprised in that, oh fuck, I just messed up really bad sort of way. And I think that his reaction in that manner is going to continue a little bit, but I sure as hell don't think that he's going to go. I saw some commentaries where people are like, look at this look on his face. It looks like he's still feeling unsure about what's going on. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, how could you, whatever that look was in that moment in this clip from this trailer does not coincide with him being like, yeah, my uncle, I would face him. He's probably too scared to face me. Come on, not the same thing, not the same person. Disagree with these other people's views on how Aemon looks. And to be fair, I think the one person I saw who was saying that, they were straight up like, yeah, I'm team green, except Baby Gone as your king. They didn't say Baby Gone. I did. But like, also, who the fuck are you? How did you even pop up in my, how are you part of my algorithm, team green? Get out of here.
Exactly. It's like, guys, we have team green at the gate. Fortify now.
Oh shit. We did get some glimpses of new characters and also some returning ones with possibly bigger roles. When it comes to new characters, there are a couple that were pictured in the green trailer that I actually didn't know who they were, and I looked them up. They have house names. I think one of them was House Estermont. I can't remember what the other one was, but they're like made up characters for the show that are clearly like behind Team Green. But in the Black trailer, there is at least one new ally at the dinner table who, if you've read the books, I'm just gonna say, pay attention to that dinner table scene. Wink, wink. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
A glimpse of Gwaine Hightower, who only briefly appeared in season 1, but is shown very clearly in the Black trailer.
Yeah, he's shown like full frontal here, and I don't mean nudity. Looking like very scared of something. And he does actually he has a pretty big role in the realm in the books, or in King's Landing, I guess is probably a better way to put it, in Fire and Blood. So seeing him again, I was like, wait a minute, why does that person look familiar? And I looked it up, and it is the same person from what I can tell. That being the case, it looks like he's going to have a much bigger role this season. And then not new and not characters who had like tiny roles in season 1, but the Cargyle twins, Arik and Eric. One of them is Arryk and the other one is Erryk. So I guess Arik and Eric. I've never listened to the audiobooks, so I'll have to assume they didn't have like the smallest roles in season 1, but one of them remained in King's Landing, and the other one was the one who brought the crown to Rhaenyra at the end of season 1. So they appear quite a few times in these trailers, which means they are going to have a bigger role to play, IMO. And again, just wink, wink.
The Starks, likely Cregan, assuming that's who was walking with Jace, will surely be a big part of this season. There's also a Baratheon drawing a sword on someone in the Green trailer, so not surprising to see that they'll also likely be playing a bigger role.
Yeah, nothing shocking here, even for show-only viewers, because the Starks, again, we knew Jace was going north to treat with people, and we saw the Baratheon situation at the end, so... We get some location stuff, new and old. Obviously, lots of shots of Dragonstone and King's Landing, of course. We also see Rhaenyra at Shipbreaker Bay, which is near Storm's End. You can see Storm's End in the background. And this is right before we get a glimpse of a Targaryen funeral. So presumably, they're going to find Luke's body. And there are more like positive theories about him from Fire and Blood that this would debunk. But we also, in season 1 of House of the Dragon, they confirmed / debunked quite a few things from Fire and Blood. And just for those of you who are listening and don't necessarily know, Fire and Blood is written by like a historian, essentially. It includes all of this input from a character named Mushroom, who was like a fool in the court and everything. So it is very much a unreliable narrator sort of situation in all of the ways. The historian who's writing it is an unreliable narrator because he has, I think, a clear leaning toward one side. He gets a lot of information from this Mushroom character, and Mushroom is also unreliable because some of what he's saying might just be like ribald jests, not actual truth, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, other locations we got.
Corlys and Rhaenyra by the sea. I'm guessing Driftmark?
Yeah, that's what it looked like. To be fair, it could be somewhere else, but if it is, it's somewhere in the general vicinity of that big bay between like King's Landing, Dragonstone, and there's like a Massey's Point, I think is what it's called.
And also someone on Dragonback, Rhaenyra maybe, because, it's the black trailer flying towards Harrenhal.
Yeah, it was a light colored dragon. So it could be somebody other than Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
But that's who, her dragon is lighter colored. But please, somebody, if I'm wrong, correct me, but that's got to be Harrenhal. It's on a body of water that's obviously not the ocean. And it's got the 3 towers that is very much known as Harrenhal. So yeah, that's an interesting, obviously we saw a little bit of Harrenhal in season 1, but I feel like it's going to play a bigger part in this season. And then, as mentioned in our hot reactions, the North, yay! Winterfell and the Wall / Castle Black, presumably Castle Black. It looks like it's probably Castle Black. I think that would be the easiest thing for them to... Oh yeah, they're at Castle Black. People who've only watched the show, watched Game of Thrones would know this, but also there were a lot more castles and forts open along the wall back then. So there's a chance it could be another one. I'm not saying it is. I'm assuming it's Castle Black, but it would be nice if they showed another one, but I'm assuming they're just going to go with Castle Black. So we'll see. Actually, you know what? I'm saying I'm assuming it's Castle Black, but knowing this show, I also maybe wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
You know what? They like to do that, don't they? They really like to do that.
And I love them for it.
Yeah. The Rainey's clip and possible several other scenes at a place that is likely Rook's Rest in the Crownlands.
Yeah, there's a bunch of battle scenes, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're showing.
I really have to get a map that I can look at when I'm watching the show because they keep going to places and I'm like, wait a minute, where is this at? What, like I'm the guy in the middle of all those lands walking by myself going, wait, where am I? Where am I going?
The Crownlands is a large area around King's Landing. So, like,
Okay.
saying it's in the Crownlands is like it's close-ish to King's Landing. And in
Mhm.
like bookverse, this would probably be like several days or more ride from King's Landing. But
Mm.
in showverse, who knows? Because I'm assuming they're not going to mess too much with the faux distances created in Game
Mhm.
of Thrones, because then it would be like they're negating the distances created in Game of Thrones. But
Mhm.
in Game of Thrones, the distances were apparently insanely shorter. Not
Mm.
in season 1, but after that. And this is like a joke, like Littlefinger had a TARDIS because he was just traveling from one place to
One place
another
to
in
another.
like the course of a couple days when they were like weeks travel or more apart.
Yep.
So all that said, it is House of the Dragon. So
Yes.
here be dragons.
Oh, yes.
I don't believe that we saw Bela's dragon Moondancer in season 1. I saw something that said that Moondancer was supposed to be in season 1, but it was cut for time. I don't know if it was before or after they filmed things. I honestly don't know. I could be wrong. So if I am and somebody is listening to this, please correct me. But Moondancer is probably a new dragon for the show, at least as far as I can tell. And then we also obviously see Vhagar for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the videos I watched that was like a trailer breakdown, somebody said something about Sunfire being with Vhagar, but I didn't see that. I kept watching for it and not seeing it. So I feel like this person was just presuming based on what they know from the books, because it was a book reader video, that they were like presuming Sunfire was going to be with Vhagar in these certain scenes. So yeah, not sure about that, but I would not be shocked if Sunfire shows up in these scenes. I just didn't necessarily see it in these trailers.
Mm.
And Sunfire is like a golden dragon. You wouldn't be able to miss them.
Melees.
Yeah, lots of melees.
Lots of melees. Nice. The earlier trailer showed Rhaenyra on Syrax facing off with a dragon that appears to be sea smoke.
Yeah, that's Laenor's dragon. And Laenor is alive.
Yep. Of course. Yep.
So sea smoke taking another rider is an interesting thing, but let's let Laenor just live his life, I guess.
Exactly.
Honestly, you know?
Let him be.
All of that said, one dragon we didn't see is the Windy Boy.
That's right.
Obviously, I know that the Windy Boy is still okay from the end of House of the Dragon season 1, but where's the Windy Boy? We get no Windy Boy.
No Windy Boy, exactly. What a letdown.
Rude, honestly. One of the things I had looked into was comparing these trailers side by side, but I decided I didn't really want to do this because it's a lot. And I think that watching them side by side, you see the connections, right? But it also you can't do it with the sound on it. And watching them back and forth, it's like, obviously you notice the parallels for sure.
Yeah.
But I honestly just suggest, if anybody's super interested, definitely watch them back to back. Watch Black, then Green, Black, watch it a couple times and you'll definitely see a lot of the parallels. The one thing that just really stuck out to me was at the beginning of the Black trailer, Rhaenyra saying the throne is her birthright, which is immediately countered at the beginning of the Green trailer by Alicent saying the opposite. Viserys knew the realm would never accept a queen. No, he didn't.
He did not say that. Yeah.
Bitch ass Alicent, shut your mouth. Stop adding things to the narrative.
And the thing is that Viserys was so adamant with Rhaenyra, like, no, that's what it is. This is what it is. And then all of a sudden, out of the fucking blue, he's dying and he's like, oh, wait a minute. You know what? I don't think they're going to accept Queen. It will let a woman lead him into battle, right? Am I right, guys? All right. Yeah, go ahead. Let's make it little baby Mon. No, that doesn't make sense.
How about we rate our excitement for season 2 on a scale of 1 to 10 Targ eyebrows?
10 Targ eyebrows, 10. A solid 10.
So I'm going with a 9. Only because I am insanely fucking excited for this to be back, obviously. Yes. But I also have this there's like a clenching in my stomach of what might come. That's like, we got, with season 1, it was like the good and the bad was so clear. And it still seems pretty clear to me in these trailers, but without our king, may he rest in peace, Viserys. We don't really know what's going to happen.
Oh, no, it's going to go to hell in a handbasket pretty quickly. I feel like it's just going to go to hell really, really quick. But I believe in my queen very much. So I'm just looking forward to her going out there and,
Well, and we also know that this takes place, I don't remember off the top of my head how many years. So there's several generations removed, quite a few generations removed from the conquest, Aegon the Conqueror, right? And his two sisters were quite a few generations removed from them. And we know that Game of Thrones, that timeline, the main 5 Aesop books, that timeline takes place. It's the end of the 200s, beginning of the 300s after Aegon's conquest. So we know there's no dragons. And right now there's still a lot of dragons. So
yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with that.
Guys, just draw some fucking conclusions. Like, you do not even need to read the books.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going with a 9 only because I just am. Season 1 was so solid in like what it made you believe and who it made you back. Even when you were like, yeah, Daemon, he's a dick, but also he loves his brother, right? Viserys, he is in some aspects a little bit weak, but that doesn't mean he's a bad king. Rhaenyra is strong and maybe a little bit headstrong, but that doesn't mean she's, in fact, that would probably make her a better leader in some aspects. And then you've got Alicent and her fucking kids raised in King's Landing versus Jason Lucor learning all these languages and learning fighting and have just, oh my God. And who the fuck cares who their dad was, you know, like IRL. Obviously they do in the show, but IRL, nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
So, oh yeah, it takes a point off for me because honestly, maybe even 2 points. I'm super looking forward to it. I'm super looking forward to watching it, but I'm also not looking forward to what might happen in a lot of ways.
Gotcha. So I'm just like, I'm the naive one, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is going to be great, guys. Don't worry about it. Totally fine. I've flown an airplane before. I promise. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I do think it's going to be great. Hopefully it's not a Boeing.
Yeah, exactly. All the screws are really tight, guys. I tightened all the screws. Don't worry about it.
Oh, man. All right. Any last thoughts before we close out?
Man, I'm just hyped. And it's a day before my birthday too. So I'm really excited. Best birthday gift this year. So
as we close out this episode, just want to give a shout out to our Heroes Tier patron, Tommy of the TKOK Podcast Network. Thank you so much for supporting us. And thank you to our listeners for joining us for our first in a very long time episode of Hot D Takes. For the most current news and updates about this series, please consider backing our Patreon at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.
Thank you for listening to the Geek Saga Podcast. If you like what you heard, please check out other Geek Saga entertainment endeavors, including the Sagas and Sass webcast and podcast and Ice and Fire Con.